Hello, thanks for joining us on the news on NT International at 7, reaching you live from Abuja. I am Ruth Aguele. Let's take the headlines. Supreme Court dismisses appeal of the People's Democratic Party and its candidate, Atiku Abubakar, due to lack of merit, says it affirms President Buhari's victory in 2019 presidential election. Nigeria Governors Forum to improve internally generated revenue for development and stability. And Aisha Muhammadu Buhari urges Africans to desist from stigmatizing women dealing with infertility. Let's begin with the judiciary. The Supreme Court has dismissed the appeal of the People's Democratic Party and its candidate, Atiku Abubakar. In a unanimous judgment, the 7-man panel of justices, led by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Tanko Mohammed, maintained that the appeal lacked merit. Dele Atumbi reports.
The candidate of the PDP in the February 23, 2019 presidential election, Atiku Abubakar, and its party approached the Supreme Court, urging the court to upturn the decision of the Court of Appeal, which dismissed their petition for lacking a merit. The appellant came with one main appeal and 6 interlocutory appeals. Having adumbrated over the main appeal, the lead counsel to the appellant, Livi Uzogu SAN, urged the court to allow the appeal challenging the victory of President Muhammadu Buhari. Counsel to President Muhammadu Buhari, Wale Olanipekun SAN, appealed to the court to dismiss the appeal as it cries to high heaven for evidence which he did not adduce at the trial court. He argued that the Constitution did not recommend for a candidate standing election to attach his credentials with the form. In their adumbrations, counsel to the APC, Lateef Fagbemi SAN, and Ustaz Usman SAN, counsel to INEC, pleaded with the court to dismiss the appeal. In a judgment delivered by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Tanko Mohammed, dismissed the appeal for lacking a merit. The Supreme Court will give reason for its judgment at a later date.
We as lawyers, this is how far we have gone, we can go, and we cannot say anything more than that. We want to appreciate you members of the press. You've also done very, very well. Well, this country belongs to all of us.
We've done our best, our clients have done their best. The rest are for Nigeria.
We say INEC does not have that type of server, and they said it is through that server that the results were transmitted. Then we asked them, who got this thing? They say it was a whistleblower. Does that belong to INEC? And if you go by it, even if it did, INEC has no right, unless there's an amendment to the Electoral Act, to transmit the results electronically.
Paragraphs and lines having to do with 2019 election, especially the presidential aspect, has been laid to rest until 2023.
The issue of the election is now behind us, and I believe the government, the people of Nigeria will work in unity to take the Nigeria project to the next level.
This election and the judgment is not about President Buhari or His Excellency Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. It is about the future of our country.
This judgment has brought to an end all the legal issues involving the conduct of the 2019 presidential election. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
And in the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has formally reacted to the ruling by the Supreme Court of Nigeria, dismissing the petition by the People's Democratic Party and its candidate, Atiku Abubakar, against his election, describing it as a reaffirmation of the will freely expressed by Nigerians through the ballot box. Speaking to State House correspondent Adamu Sambo in Riyadh on the sidelines of the Future Investment Summit, the president promised to sustain efforts at dismantling national development obstacles and taking the country to greater heights.
The Supreme Court has virtually validated or increased the confidence of the lower courts and tribunals that already passed the judgment. So Supreme Court is resuscitating the confidence of Nigerians on all the judicial processes from downstairs up to the highest point. So I'm very pleased with this development.
So now that the Supreme Court has dismissed their petition, what message do you have to the opposition?
Well, they have seen the limit of the constitutional facilities given to the country. They have gone from tribunal up to Supreme Court. So they go back to God. You just can't go and think by making a lot of noise you can intimidate the judiciary. You can't. They work based on facts. And I'm very pleased that the judiciary has given such confidence to all those who want to, to complain about national issues. Look at it. How many parties participated in the election? 91, if you have forgotten. I haven't forgotten. This should mean that the parties should come together so that we have less problems, so that we can save more resources, for essentials of the society, education and healthcare, instead of going to courts, doing all the logistics, traveling, accommodation, pay lawyers, and so on.
Now that the legal challenge is over, what can you assure Nigerians? What will they expect from you?
What I promised them from 2015, security, economy, and fighting corruption. It's up to Nigerians now to try and assess us how well have we done. To me, I'm satisfied. I went to all the 36 states and Abuja during the election. The people that turned out to see me and to hear me are more than what anybody can buy or force. So I'm very pleased we are justifying the confidence Nigerians repose in us.
Some of the governors on the president's entourage to Saudi Arabia also reacted to the judicial decision.
For almost the first time in history, have dealt with an issue literally instantaneously, which provide a lot of relief, and people who have been waiting for this decision to come, it has finally come, and I'm glad that I was opportune to be with Mr. President in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia when this thing happened. He's not even expecting it. It came as a total surprise.
It is impossible to question the destiny of God. Democracy has come to stay in Nigeria. We are happy, and this will give opportunity to Muhammadu Buhari to continue with the good work that he is doing.
How do you feel about that?
Very happy and very confident that Nigeria will really leap to the next level.
And while some governors are reacting to the judgment, back home in Nigeria, Nigerians have been reacting to the Supreme Court judgment, saying it affirms President Buhari's victory in the 2019 presidential elections. Onenke Fineface is on this.
The President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has congratulated President Muhammadu Buhari and the All Progressives Congress APC on the indelible judicial seal the Supreme Court on Wednesday put on their victory in the presidential election of February 23 this year. Lawan rejoiced with President Buhari and the ruling APC for the rigging affirmation of the solid mandate the Nigerian people freely gave them, as first proclaimed by the Court of Appeal and now finally by the Supreme Court. Similarly, the All Progressives Congress welcomes the Supreme Court's dismissal of the appeal filed by the People's Democratic Party and its presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar against President Muhammadu Buhari's 2019 election victory. The party congratulates Nigerians, the President, Vice President, party leaders, members and supporters on the Supreme Court's verdict. The APC, in a statement by its National Publicity Secretary Lanre Issa Onilu, said the earlier judgment of the 2019 Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, which dismissed in its entirety the PDP and Atiku's petition, and now the Apex Court hearing, was apt in dismissing the appeal for lacking merit. The party hailed the judiciary for standing firm in the face of the PDP and Atiku's subterfuge and for siding with the Nigerian electorate, who through their vote decided to do away with PDP's ignominious past and re-elect the President Buhari-led APC administration, which has ushered in a new era of progressive growth for the country. With the ruling of the Supreme Court, which has finally affirmed President Buhari's election victory, the APC enjoined the PDP and Atiku to jettison their alleged destructive and disruptive agenda against Nigeria, which they have made up their minds to pursue for the next 4 years. Democratic politics cannot be practiced in the state of anarchy, confusion, which the PDP and Atiku wish to achieve according to the APC. Going forward, the All Progressives Congress says President Buhari-led APC government will continue to focus on delivering next-level plans for the country. In a related development, the Northern Governors Forum has congratulated President Muhammadu Buhari over the validation of his election victory by the Supreme Court of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In a statement, the chairman of the forum, Governor Simon Bakola-Long of Plateau State, said the news of the Supreme Court verdict did not come as a surprise because of the massive support the president received during the 2019 presidential elections from Nigerians of diverse backgrounds. Lalong said the affirmation of the mandate clears the path for the president to settle down in taking Nigeria to the next level without any distractions. The Northern Governors also congratulated Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, the chairman and members of the All Progressives Congress, as well as the entire nation. They assured the president of their unflinching support and loyalty as he continues to serve the nation with integrity, dedication, and uncommon patriotism. On the flip side, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, says he must accept that the judicial route he chose to take as a Democrat has come to a conclusion following the Supreme Court's judgment this Wednesday. Atiku, in a statement, said he fought a good fight for the Nigerian people and will keep on fighting for Nigeria, democracy, and also for justice. He thanks all Nigerians who have stayed the course since the commencement of trial in the petition on the February 23rd presidential election. Similarly, the national chairman of the main opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, Prince Uche Secondus, has saluted Nigerians for their commitment and support to the party and democracy. Reacting to the Supreme Court ruling this Wednesday, striking out the appeal of the PDP and its presidential candidates, Atiku Abubakar, a statement from the special advisor on media to the national chairman, Ike Abonyi, notes the commitment of Nigerians to democracy and its tenets as unprecedented, despite inhibiting factors, as worthy of emulation and highly commendable. The statement commends the media for its commitment to democracy and good governance, but urged them not to relent in their roles of holding politicians accountable to the people. On Nengiye, Fine Face, NT News.
Now let's take you back to Riyadh. Nigeria and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia have resolved to deepen and expand the highly beneficial relations between the two countries for sustainable development of economies, as well as enhance living standards of their peoples. Now this was the high point of the high-level talks between President Muhammadu Buhari and the Saudi monarch King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud in Riyadh. Let's hear from State House correspondent Adamu Sambo.
It was a highly befitting welcome for President Muhammadu Buhari at the Yamama Royal Palace, Riyadh, as he arrived for talks with Saudi monarch King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud.
What come out strongly is the respect that President Muhammadu Buhari has brought to Nigeria, because the way he was received at the royal court by King Salman, the custodian of the two holy mosques, is a very proud moment for all of us that a Nigerian president is bringing honor to Nigeria. The world is standing in awe for him.
Formally meeting for the second time in 3 years, President Buhari and King Salman recommit themselves to deepening existing partnership for the development of both countries. In particular, they reviewed various aspects of such partnership and agreed to advance cooperation in the areas of oil and gas, given the similarities of both countries as big producers of the commodity.
Well, Mr. President was talking about greater Saudi investment in the Nigerian oil and gas industry, and said that, of course, that he, as the Minister of Petroleum, also had relations even in his earlier incarnation as head of state of Nigeria, had dealt with Sheikh Yamani, who was then the Minister of Petroleum of Saudi Arabia, and so that he has great insight into the dynamics of Saudi, engagement in OPEC and in the oil industry generally, and indicated that he had given directives to his officials to engage with the Saudis to increase the level of cooperation and get also greater Saudi involvement in the Nigerian oil industry.
What was the response of the king in respect of that?
Yes, the king was very positive and also, as it were, promised to support Nigeria in the field of petroleum and gas development.
Both leaders also discussed the current regional and global security situation, with President Muhammadu Buhari expressing his desire for a quick and peaceful resolution on contentious issues in the region.
Mr. President expressed his concerns that two countries that share a lot in common, such as Saudi Arabia and Iran, that it was important that we should find a mechanism to have peaceful coexistence within the sub-region. He talked also about, the importance of having security in countries, because these are what will enable countries to develop economically, and hinted at the challenges that we face in Nigeria with terrorism, and what he's doing to address that, and also good governance and anti-corruption.
The president sympathized with the Saudi Arabian government once again over the incidents in which the oil installations were attacked.
The issues that are spoken convey message of respect to his person and the respect he's bringing to Nigeria because of his integrity, because of his steadfast management of the Nigerian state that is being acknowledged on the global stage.
President Muhammadu Buhari and the Saudi monarch also promised to vigorously enhance and develop relations in areas of trade, people-to-people partnership, technology, education, and agriculture for the mutual prosperity of their peoples. From Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
You're watching the news at 7 on NTA International. Time we go on a break, so don't go anywhere.
Your information dey important, just like your identity. Na the only way we fit take hala you o. Make you go browse easy.gotvafrica.com. Sign in with your IUC number and mobile number and scroll down to personal details and address. Then check well to see say everything bam. You fit change the one wey not correct. To finish everything, just click the save button and it don finish.
Thank you. I make sure say my phone number dey correct. That's now why GoTV fit call me make I come collect my own awoof.
Angel, time for my phone in that way because now my correct phone number dey for book.
GoTV, live it, love it.
Now look me again, no. Make you go do your own.
NTAI has gone mobile. Catch your favorite programs anywhere in the world by going to Play Store on Android and App Store on iOS. Search for Vision TV UK, download and install. Then you're good to go.
Thanks for staying tuned. The federal government has again matched action with words as more fund is released towards the provision of critical infrastructure to the aviation sector to further improve safety at the nation's airports. This time, the Aviation Ministry got approvals of the Federal Executive Council for the completion of road and perimeter fencing at the Port Harcourt Airport. There were also approvals for the installation of scanner at the Apapa Seaport and for the construction of annex office for the National Deposit Insurance Corporation. Jide Onifade reports.
For 3 consecutive meetings now, the Aviation Ministry has had it smooth with the Federal Executive Council as the ministry yet again got approval for 2 memos it presented this Wednesday.
And the first was insurance, special risk for the assets in Nigerian College of Aviation Technologies area. And this included also the personnel that will be operating those machines. And it's for the sum of 574,311,407 naira and 43 kobo.
Second memo approved was for the fencing and perimeter roads of Port Harcourt International Airport.
The project was abandoned since 2011.
The minister spoke on talks making the rounds that one of the airlines operating in the country is being considered as a national carrier.
AIC, as presently constituted, is not in line with the thinking of the ministry, will not be able to give us that airline that we need.
Similar to that of the Aviation Ministry is the approval got for the installation of a scanner for the Lagos Seaport by the Ministry of Transportation. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, speaks on this.
And with this procurement installation of this scanner, it's going to enhance security at the airport and also, enhance revenue because more ships will now be willing to come to berth at the Apapa complex.
The Ministry of Finance got approval for 2 memos it presented on behalf of the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation.
The first paper that we presented to Council and Council approved was for the construction of the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation NDIC head zonal office in Bauchi in the sum of 3,239,747,882 naira, including VAT.
Second approval, as stated by the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, is for 12 consultancy services for the development of the corporation's annex office in Abuja, its office in Lagos, and a training center in Lekki, Lagos. The sum for this is over 2 billion naira. One thing common to all Nigerians, and that cannot be overlooked or overemphasized, is the security of the nation, which well-meaning Nigerians feel is being threatened now by fake news. Minister of Information and that of Aviation comment on how Nigerians could and should prevent this.
The government owes the duty to Nigerians not to allow fake news and hate speech to divide the country.
Kinds of fake news
Yes.
and hate speech. And I think you should do everything that you can to promote against this.
A Federal Executive Council meeting was presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NT News.
In other news, governors of states of the Federation have agreed to be proactive to steer the country to greater stability. Now, this they promise to achieve by closing the wide revenue gap to meet growing development needs of the states and the nation. The governors gave the assurance at the Nigerian Governors Forum meeting on internally generated revenue per learning. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday reports.
Within the social contract framework, it is the responsibility of government to provide economic, political, socio-cultural and general welfare for its citizens. In order to address these thematic areas, the enabling structures through extant laws are activated, and this leads to efficient economic growth of the states. This meeting between state governors and commissioners of finance is working out modalities that will aid improvements in revenue generation by capturing more Nigerians in the tax nets.
Tax policy and tax
Chairman of the Governors Forum, Kayode Fayemi, said the revenue peer learning platform was designed to share reform experiences and consolidate actions.
Your mandate to expand the revenue base is closely tied to our mandate, our promises to improve our citizens' quality of health care, of education, of infrastructure, in addition to providing social safety nets to the vulnerable and the underprivileged.
While we have recorded significant strides in 11 states, with IGRO growth rates of about 30%, I need to state that we are also confronted with less than optimal progress in a number of other states.
Investment and job creation.
World Bank Country Director Shubham Chowdhury said the bank is satisfied with the economic policy of the present administration.
His Excellency the President has talked about his ambition of lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in the next 10 years. And that's what we as the World Bank are here to help support Nigeria, support the government, both at the federal level and at the state levels to do.
The meeting agreed to place more emphasis on the development of infrastructure in their states through adequate revenue generated. Adebola, Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
And talking health now, wife of the president, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has urged Africans to desist from stigmatizing women dealing with infertility. In a statement, Aisha Buhari made the appeal during a high-level panel discussion of African First Ladies on challenges of building healthcare facilities in the African continent. Aisha Buhari advocated the need for increased women empowerment, counseling and support for women dealing with infertility. The First Lady underscored the achievement of the Aisha Buhari Foundation and promised to assist in curbing stigmatization, depression and abuse. She calls for enhanced empowerment for women through medical support and seed capital for micro and small businesses. The event is the 6th edition of Merck Africa Asia Luminary More Than a Mother initiative for African First Ladies, co-chaired by First Lady of Ghana, Rebecca Akufo-Addo, and Rasha Kilaj, CEO of Merck Foundation. And talking sports, let's hear from Amanzi Marcos.
This is the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja, venue of the 2nd edition of the Puma Engineering Wheelchair Tennis Championship. We have 32 players from 4 African countries of Nigeria, the host, Ghana, Kenya and Tanzania, competing for the purse prize of $3,000 US. They are also competing to have a favorable ranking and points ahead of the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Nigeria's Golden Eagles are hoping to take all 3 points Friday in their last Group B match against Australia at the FIFA Under-17 World Cup in Brazil, despite the fact that even a draw would mean the 5-time champions will end up as Group B leaders. The Golden Eagles are through to the second round of 16, which begins next Tuesday after Tuesday's 3-2 victory over Ecuador in Gioia to maintain their leadership of Group B. Meanwhile, the Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, has pledged to provide necessary support to the National Association of Women in Sports, NAWIS, as part of efforts to motivate women in sporting activities. The governing body of the National Collegiate Athletic Association in the U.S. Tuesday unanimously voted for athletes to profit from brand sponsorship and endorsement deals that have kept them from benefiting in the financial rewards generated by their performances. With Sports Update, Amanzi Marcus, NTA News.
And that concludes the news at 7. Thanks for your time. I am Ruth Aguele. Bye.
NTAI has gone mobile. Catch your favorite programs anywhere in the world by going to Play Store on Android